All right. The YouTube algorithm. All right. The YouTube algorithm. YouTube? What the heck is a YouTube? All right. The YouTube algorithm. My God, I can't say words today. Hello, fellow Novians. My name is Rob, and welcome to another episode in the tutorial series. Today we are talking about VR. How to use it, how to set it up, how to do the RDMS permissions, all that good stuff, right? And we are again on the Bandicoot from Chimera Shipworks to take a look at this. So let's talk about what you need right away in order to use VR. Well, you just need this thing right here, which is the Surrogate VR station. You can only have one VR station per person. So if I go ahead and I get in this VR station and use it, nobody else can use it. So if you have a bunch of people in your org or on your ship that use VR regularly, you might want to set up like maybe 4 of these things so that they can all be used, because as soon as I click on it, you can see this door closes kind of in the background. And it says connected, and nobody else can actually use it. So VR stations are used to connect to surrogate pads, which we'll talk about in a second. And you can see all of the locations that you can go to. If you don't see a location here, it's probably because either that location is private or they didn't set the pad up right, which is why we're going to be talking about this. You can also click on this thing right here, select usable only, and that'll sort out some of the like locked ones or other stuff, right? You can also go get to all of the tutorials through here. If you haven't done any of these tutorials, you will not have a check mark here, and I would say go ahead and run the tutorials if you haven't, because you get some free skill points and a free quanta, so that's always a benefit to those. So if you skipped out on doing the tutorials when you were first starting your character, you might want to go back and visit those if you're bored ever, just to get the points. You can also do the challenges through your personal VR station as well. So by default, the VR station is only usable by the person who put it down. So this one pretty much is just set for default Chimera use, so it would be the legates and stuff like that. I don't know if like normal members could use it. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tested that. But we can set this up as a public VR station by just creating an RDMS tag for it, which we can do pretty easily. By clicking on set element rights and creating a RDMS setup for it. If you haven't seen my video on how to set RDMS, I will put a link right here at the top of the video, and you can go ahead and check that out. We will go through step by step of setting it up for this, but if you want like overall how RDMS works, there is another video that covers that topic. So let's talk about the second part of the VR station, and that is the surrogate pod station, which is how people arrive. So this one is not set up yet. By default, when you put it down, it is only usable by no one, not even yourself. So how do you set this up? Well, we have to do 2 things. We have to first set a location name. So on this one, we would call this Chimera Bandicoot Alpha, and we'll click OK. And then we'll go ahead and click Activate. And you can tell if it's activated. If I click it again, you'll see that this changed to deactivate. Now, in order for this to actually work, we'll have to set up some RDMS. Otherwise, I think I'm the only one who can see it. Let's go ahead and search for it at the thing here. We'll just type in Bandicoot. Yeah, it's not visible at all. So we need to set up some permissions. So let's go ahead and look at that. I am going to create a custom tag here. So we're going to click Set Element Rights. We're going to go to the tag here, and we're going to create a custom tag. And we're going to call this Chimera Test VR use. Just so I know when, because I'm going to have to go in and delete this again after we do this. So I'm going to click Add. That adds the tag. That does not do anything. It just sets a tag on this, right? So I'm going to click Save. And that saves it. And then we're going to go into our RDMS policies. That's not it. There we go, F7. And we're going to click on, for me, it's Chimera. Remember, if you put something down under your org, you need to set the RDMS policies under that org. If you put it down as yourself under an individual, you need to set the policies under your individual. So if you set your policies and then you're like, it's still not working. Like I have a surrogate pod access under my personal, and we're creating one under Chimera. So if you notice that it's not working, check that. If the surrogate pod is owned by your org, you need to set the policy under your org. So we're going to go find that tag. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new policy. I'm going to call this Test Chimera Access VR, just because something, right? I'm going to set a preset actor. So if I just wanted org members to use this, I would just type in the name of the org, Chimera, and we would go ahead and select Chimera as the org. If I wanted to make this a public VR terminal so people can visit, like if I was setting this down at a showroom or a market or something that I wanted other players to come and visit my store or something like that, I would just type all. And then we would click all as predefined actors, and always make certain to click add. If it's not down here in this box, it's not added. So then we're going to select the preset right. The only thing we need on this is connect to surrogate pod station. And that'll allow anybody to connect to that surrogate pod station. And then in this thing, we're going to find that tag we gave, which was Chimera new or test. Yeah, Chimera test VR use. So we have preset actors all, we have rights connect to surrogate pod station, and we have tags Chimera test VR use. We would click save policy, and that is that. So now if I go over here, we can see that Chimera Bandicoot Alpha is now on the list. And if I click on it and I click connect, we'll go ahead and shoot over there, and I will be in VR. Let's do that just so I can show you what the pod looks like when there's somebody in it. So you see I connected right to the pad there, and my real body is inside this tube here, and it says connected. And if we try to use it, it says already in surrogate, right? And then if I go over here and I try to activate this, action forbidden in surrogate. If I try to I can actually activate that. That's interesting. If I try to get in the chair, action forbidden in the surrogate session. But I can go into build mode, and I can connect to linked containers. So there is a bunch of stuff I can do. I can deactivate and activate shields. I can open and close doors. Just certain things that you're not allowed to do. I cannot activate a res pad. So yeah, just go ahead and play with it, and you'll figure out all the things you can and can't do. But it's handy if you just need to check on some stuff or see if something's running, etc. Right? All right. So how do we get out of surrogate once we're in it? We're gonna go and hit Tab, and then up at the top here, we're gonna go ahead and click Exit, and we will go back to where we started, which is here, and the container opens back up, and now it is available for somebody else to use. So that is how we set up the RDMS on the pod station. If we wanted to set up RDMS on this bad boy here for anybody to use, we would do the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and set element rights. I am going to use the same tag Chimera test VR. Whoops, not chonk. Chimera test VR use. Add. Save. And now that gave it the permissions that the other thing had. However, we want to go in and we want to add some more permissions. So I'm going to go ahead and find that one I just set up, which was called test Chimera VR, not view, edit. So we're going to edit this, and I am going to add a couple more things here, right? I am going to add use element. And now that is going to add the ability to use an element to the tag that is created here. So it doesn't really affect the VR surrogate pod that we connect to, but it does. You do need to use element in order to use a VR station. So now I just made this public. So basically anybody can come on this ship and use this VR station as they wish. And again, if I wanted to change this to just org, I would just delete that. I'm going to type in Chimera, which is the name of the org, and I'm going to add that. So now this VR station is only usable by Chimera, and this pad right here is only connectable to Chimera. So that is how you set those up for RDMS. You can have different tags for each of them. Like you could make this one public and this one org only. You kind of know how to do that. You just have to use a different tag for each of them. So you would set up maybe a policy called surrogate VR station policy, and this one would be surrogate surrogate station policy. Just different ways you can do that. So that's generally how that whole thing works. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the discussion chat, and I will respond post-haste on your questions. If there's any other videos you can think of that I have not covered as far as tutorials go, I would be happy to go ahead and make something. Don't ask about PvP tutorials. Don't ask about pew tutorials. Because I don't know enough about PvP to actually get into that, and I think most PvPers would just rather shoot me. So I'm sorry, guys. I gotta poke the bear. So that's what we got going on. So VR station, VR pad, whatever, blah blah, and let's make sure that while I'm here, I go ahead and delete this this stupid test thing right here, and we're gonna go and click on delete, and we're gonna go into tags here, and then we're gonna go find that Chimera test VR use, and we're gonna delete. Because as you can see, there are a crap load of tags in here, and it is very hard to figure out which tags go to which. So you want to kind of try not to make so many tags that you're just like, which tag did I use for what? So we've started setting up these like things like public deploy construct, Chimera sausage standard, yeah, things like that. It helps you in the long run. And again, if you haven't seen that RDMS video, it's a watch. So that's all I have today. If you like this video, don't forget to give a thumbs up. It really does help all of the content creators on YouTube. If you liked it enough that you're not subscribed and you want to subscribe, I hope you hit that button too. And if you like to be notified every time I drop a video, go ahead and hit that notification bell icon button thing, and it will notify you every time there is a new post. Until next time, I'll see you out there in space. Stay safe, my friends.